Good morning, YouTubers. Welcome to my channel. As usual, this is Chef M, and I am giving you your weekly tower garden update. This is going to be week 7 on the tower gardens, and I just kind of wanted to show you guys an update on all these vegetables. I have had super growth on most of the vegetables here this week. I filled it up with 10 gallons of water last week, and I'm already down. I think I got 4 gallons left in the reservoir. So we can definitely tell in the summertime, springtime and summer, that with the heat and everything in Arizona, that we definitely start going through more water and nutrients. Now, with that being said, it's also using a lot of water because I have melons growing, tomatoes growing, lots of peppers, eggplants, pumpkins. So I have a few plants that I pulled out because they were starting to bolt from the heat, and that was my lettuces. This evening I'll be pulling the kale and the mustard greens and the collard greens, but I'll show you guys those here momentarily. So let me guys show you kind of the update. So this is the Crenshaw melon, and we can see here Mr. Crenshaw is starting to vine out now. He's getting vines all over him. And I kind of put up this makeshift trellis out of PVC pipe and nylon trellis from the garden store. So it seems to be working rather well for things to trellis onto. If you can actually see over here, this is part of the patio cucumbers, the pickling cucumbers over here, and it's just trellising all over the place, as you can kind of tell back there from looking at things. This one here is the collard greens. The collard greens are going to get pulled tonight just because of the mass amount of growth, and we're going to have a stir fry tonight. Collard greens, mustard greens, and kale. So here is our rotten Indian eggplant, and we can actually see he's flowering all over the place. He's got new little bulbs all over him. He's just been growing like crazy over the past several weeks. So this one up top that looks all brown to you, this is a transplant that I did. This tomato was near gone when I picked it up at the nursery. It is a Cherokee green, I believe. It's a green tomato variety. But yeah, these leaves looked horrible. But this morning, I can see we got all kinds of new growth coming up out of this here in just a matter of a few days. So hopefully this one starts producing and growing. I mean, the root of it's already grown considerably, and I can tell because he's now past the trellis. Before he was about half the size when I first got him. So behind that we have this is our bell pepper plant. You guys remember, if you look back at week 1, how small this plant was, and we can actually now see nice sized bell pepper growing every day, just getting bigger and bigger. But this plant is now approximately 14 inches high altogether. So over here we have one of our jalapeno plants just growing and flowering away. So this bad boy over here, this big monstrosity here, is a pumpkin plant. Now I looked this morning and I started to see vines coming. If you look here, you can see some vines. The pumpkin is vining, so doing exactly what we want it to do. So over here we have one of our strawberry plants. Strawberry plants have been doing well, but I think I'm actually going to take these and put them in a planter this weekend, just to make room for other things. So over here we have the broccoli plant, and you can just see how much the broccoli plant has just been growing. I would expect before long that we start to get the actual broccoli head growing in here. And then over here is the other side where you see the collards. Let's see. We have our dill plant, our blue dill just growing like crazy. These are our chives. I mean, just look at this one chive and how thick and how long this chive is. So this is our Mexican tarragon, Texas tarragon, and we can actually see huge amounts of growth in this over the past several weeks. We have our cilantro, purple echinacea. He's been a real slow grower. As it started to warm up, him and the peppermint both have really started coming into their own. The sage is doing well. Got another sweet basil plant growing here. So this is another pepper plant. This is another one that I transplanted from the nursery. Now this one was one that was just about dead when I got it. Since I replanted it, this guy has been just growing roots. The trunk branches now are getting thick and they're green now instead of brown. So really good signs over here. Still the star of the show, if you see how big he's gotten, is the tomato plant. So there's two big trunks on this tomato plant. One is more, I have hanging more towards the bottom, and the other one, as you can see, is growing up through the trellis. Now, if we see, we have, see if I can find you, the spots here. So like right here, we have a bunch of flowers. Down there, we have a bunch of flowers on it. Back and towards the side, we have flowers. We have some flowers down here on it. So this one's doing really, really well. You can see how lush and green these are looking with the good amount of nutrients in them. But they're doing really, really well. So now if we move on to the other side, and this one I turned this morning, so you have to bear with me because I know the trellis is kind of in our way, but here we have the Thai basil. This is great in pho for those of you guys that love your fuzz. We have some more cilantro. We have the thyme, which I've been using all week in different dishes. Had a steak the other night with some fresh thyme in it. It was basted on the steak. A little bit of God's butter. Oh. Back there we have one of our remaining lettuces. This is the green lettuce, or the Bibb lettuce. So that one will probably get pulled tonight because it's starting to bolt. Let's see, that's our mustard greens. That one's getting pulled tonight. Now, we look at this little guy. He was a transplant. You can see how much better he's looking now. I think he was one of my last transplants. So, this is another jalapeno plant. You can see how big this jalapeno plant has gotten. Let's see. This is a habanero plant. You can see how big he's gotten. Great growth on that one. So this is our black Krim tomato plant. This one I didn't bother really tying up. He's almost as big as Mr. Stripey over there now, but I got if you look, I got tons of little blooms on here. I got tons more over here. Got a few more down here. So I have blooms everywhere on this one. And let's see. So this is the kale. The kale started to bolt because of the heat. So this one will get pulled tonight as well. You see the little strawberry plant underneath. He's still doing well, but I think he's another one that's going to go into a transplant. You see the chocolate mint. Now, chocolate mint has really taken off. As you guys can see, it's really taken over a lot on the top. So I'm probably going to transplant this one into a planter and just let it continue to grow. This is our rainbow chard, and he's just gotten humongous. This is our lemon cucumber over here, and you can just see the amount of vines on it. He's really been vining, really been just been branching out and growing. Let me see. So this is one of our other strawberry plants. Excuse me. This one I'm definitely going to be transplanting into a planter. He's got runners going all over the place on it. Let me see if I can find you one. Yeah, so like one of the runners right here. You've got a couple more down here. So like here's another runner on him. So he's got all these runners. Let me see. There's a couple I took out. That's the patio cucumber. Let's go around to the other side. And then if we come around, this is, I believe this is the okra. Down here, that's our petite watermelon. He's just going really slow. I have another watermelon on the other tower in the back that's about double his size. Let's see. And you can see the sweet basil over here that's growing up. And I have one more tomato plant. It's back here. You guys can see he's really been growing. And another chive. Let's see, do I really have anything else? I think that's it. It's just really been growing massively this week. We have the Thai chili pepper as well over here. I mean, look at the growth on that guy. So, kind of a week 7 update. You guys can kind of see just the expansive amount of growth out here. Starting to look like a little jungle. So, by all means, share your comments. Share anything that you guys do differently with your tower gardens. Any comments, concerns, anything that I might do for pruning. Give me some ideas or tips. I'm always here to listen and take any advice from other gardeners. Hit me up.